Tehran opens its doors to the UN's nuclear watchdog, but not to its inspectors. As the IAEA's deputy chief lands in Iran, talks aim to forge a new framework. While access to nuclear sites remains firmly shut, it's the first visit since Israel's strikes crippled key facilities. And as Iran's top security chief tours Baghdad and Beirut, the shadow of June's war still looms. Iran has confirmed that the deputy head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog will visit the country in hopes of rekindling sour ties, adding that the trip will not involve inspections of nuclear facilities. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said the International Atomic Energy Agency's Deputy Director General is scheduled to visit Tehran on the 11th of August. Araghchi said that upcoming negotiations with the International Atomic Energy Agency will focus on establishing a new framework for cooperation.
As long as we haven't reached a new framework for cooperation, there are no plans for open inspections. We have not yet reached an agreement on the new framework, and cooperation will not begin until such an agreement is in place. This new framework will be firmly based on the law passed by the esteemed Iranian parliament.
According to state-run media, Araghchi said that Tehran would only allow for International Atomic Energy Agency cooperation through the approval of the Supreme National Security Council, the country's highest security body. In July, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian formally signed a law requiring the government to suspend cooperation with the IAEA after the controversial strikes on Tehran's nuclear sites. The visit would be the first following the 12-day Israel-Iran conflict in June, when Israel and the US struck some of its key facilities. The decision will likely further limit inspectors' ability to track Tehran's program that had been enriching uranium to near weapons-grade levels. Since Israel's initial strikes in June, inspectors from the IAEA have been denied access to the sites, despite IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi emphasizing that resuming inspections is his top priority. Iran has accused the agency of effectively paving the way for the bombings by issuing a damning report on the 31st of May, which led the IAEA's 35-nation Board of Governors to declare Iran in breach of its non-proliferation obligations. Iran, which denies seeking nuclear weapons, said it remained committed to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. But according to a law passed by Parliament last month, Iran's Supreme National Security Council must approve any future IAEA inspections of Iran's nuclear sites. IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi has stated that inspections continue to be his top priority. The head of Iran's top security body, Ali Larijani, arrived in Baghdad on August 11th in his first official trip abroad since taking over as the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council earlier this month. An Iranian official briefing about the top security trip schedule told The National.
Larijani was received by Iraqi National Security Advisor Qasim al-Araji, and he is set to hold talks with Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and other senior officials. Discussions are expected to focus on regional stability, counterterrorism cooperation, and ways to insulate both countries from spillover conflicts.
The state television reports that Larijani is expected to sign a bilateral security agreement in Iraq before heading to Lebanon, where he will meet senior Lebanese officials and figures. Earlier this month, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian appointed Larijani to the head the country's top security body, succeeding Gen Ali Akbar Ahmadi Sultan in a major reshuffle of Iran's security leadership. Larijani's trip to Lebanon comes after Tehran expressed strong opposition to a Lebanese government plan to disarm Tehran's ally Hezbollah, a stance condemned by Beirut as a flagrant and unacceptable interference. Meanwhile, the Lebanese government on Thursday voted to disarm Hezbollah and endorsed the objectives of a US proposal that requires the group to hand over all its weapons. Before departing for his trip, Larijani told Iranian state TV,
"Our cooperation with the Lebanese government is long and deep. We consult on various regional issues. In this particular context, we are talking to Lebanese officials and influential figures in Lebanon. In Lebanon, our positions are already clear. Lebanese national unity is important, and must be preserved in all circumstances. Lebanon's independence is still important to us, and we will contribute to it.
The visit comes amid growing pressure from the US on both Baghdad and Beirut to rein in Iran-backed groups. Meanwhile, amid Western demands for Hezbollah to disarm, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghai maintained that Lebanon's military strength is vital to its fundamental right to self-defense. Speaking at the weekly press conference on August 11th, Baghai said,
"Our position regarding recent developments in support of the territorial integrity, unity, and independence of Lebanon is firm and proven. Iran has always underscored the necessity of preserving the independence and territorial integrity of Lebanon and the right of this country to defend itself against the evils of the Israeli regime."
However, Baghai noted, as a rule, exercising this inherent right is not possible without military capability and weapons. He explained that Iran's past experience in the region demonstrates that the Zionist regime cannot be contained except by equipping nations with the necessary means for self-defense. The Foreign Ministry spokesman reiterated that these issues are Lebanon's internal affairs, and the people of this country and the various components of Lebanese society must identify the interests of their country through legal and approved processes. The US is pushing the Lebanese government to trade Hezbollah's disarmament for a partial Israeli withdrawal from the south. In response, the Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has announced plans to restrict weapons possession solely to state institutions under a new army-led framework by year's end.